So we were able to flip it around. I was able to also hire the different resources to manage that and scale that. So I think what's up next is really work like like focusing on quality, like higher quality content, higher quality events.
Hey, welcome back to the studio today with us. I'm so pleased to have with us Anna, because Anna, she doesn't just look good, she makes companies look good, and she's doing all sorts of cool stuff. Anna, tell us who you are and what do you do?
Todd, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Anna Anisin, and I'm the founder of Data Science Salon. And we are one of the most diverse machine learning and AI communities in North America.
All right, dive into that, because everyone's talking about AI, but talk about the machine learning and AI that you're talking about.
Yeah, so we talk about, the real technical stuff and actually what people are working on within the organization. So, I see a ton of different use cases and how people are trying to, a good thing right now that everybody knows about is Chat GPT. So now we're really
Right.
looking at different use cases like at the Fed, at S&P Global, at, Viacom and Comcast and BuzzFeed and all those companies, what they're doing and how they're
Awesome.
actually utilizing that technology internally. So it's really neat to be around that discussion and to be part of that community.
No kidding. I mean, imagine if the Fed could use this and actually cut out like a couple hundred thousand jobs, right? And save some money. Maybe we could learn, maybe we can cut our debt ceiling a little bit here.
Yeah, the possibilities are pretty limitless. So that's why it's so exciting, to be part of this.
So this is really cool because everyone is intrigued by this concept and everyone is trying to jump in and play some part of the AI game. You, on the other hand, have been in this for a while, and you've been playing with AI. You've been automating all sorts of things to happen from a machine learning perspective. How are you seeing the trend hitting the market, and what are you seeing as trends that are going to continue, you think, after this huge boom of AI?
Yeah, so I think, right now AI is having kind of like an iPhone moment. So when the iPhone came out, we saw new apps emerging like from the Jack, we have Pandora and
Right.
Spotify and SoundCloud. And then from the geolocation, we have Uber, Lyft, and then later Instacarts and DoorDashes and things like that. And then
Right.
from the camera, that's the big thing is the apps, right? We have Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat, which came out. So now we're kind of seeing the same thing happening with Chat GPT, that now that it
Totally.
is consumer facing, there's going to be this whole wave of new products that are built on top of that solve a lot of problems, that make
Right.
all businesses way more efficient. And I think it's not really going to take away jobs. It's really going to make
Right.
businesses more efficient, be able to scale, make more money. So it's just going to help us.
I agree. And from a marketer's perspective, I use it daily. For a lot of my clients, we're trying to come up with new content and new pieces for their websites, landing pages. I mean, let's face it, AI is incredible. It thinks for us in so many ways that are helpful. I love it. So who are your clients? Like, who are you helping with these solutions? And what solution do you provide for them specifically?
So, for our clients right now, I guess I don't would say I would have more of a community, right? Like not really clients.
Right.
We have partners and people like that, and we help them kind of present their solutions to the people they're trying to sell them to, right? So we're kind of the
Awesome.
intersection between those things. So, and
Awesome.
we do a lot. We not only use data to help connect people, but also just very, personalized messaging and all of that. And again, I also, as you said, you use a lot of different tools to create those, right? And Chat GPT
Right.
is one of the main ones, but that one, you have to be very careful. You can't really use it in blogs or like for website copy because Google will ding you. So there's other tools though that you could use, like Jasper and some other ones that
Right.
have proprietary models that won't ding you.
Right.
So, but that's something people have to remember, that you can't use it for everything, right? So you have to be, and now we're trying to figure out where you can use it. But with our, again, with our partners and all of our sponsors, we
Yeah.
make sure that they have like the exact access to the people they're trying to sell to. So that's, kind of what DSS
Awesome.
does really well, is connecting those, sellers and buyers together.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I think everyone's just kind of scrambling right now, figuring out how do I use these tools the best. And I think you said it just right. It is kind of an iPhone moment where it's like, wait, the phone's cool, but this app is freaking amazing. You know what I mean? So are there things you're seeing trending right now that you feel like are must-haves? You mentioned Jasper and a few other things. I was an early adopter of Jasper, but what are the tools you seeing kind of hitting the market in a way that you think will be sustainable?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think definitely there's like copy.ai. That's another one that does really good job. Writer, Ink. Those are some of the
Yeah.
tools that are good. And then another one that just came out of stealth is called Typeface. And that's going to be, I don't know if you've heard of it, but that one is really going to change the
Wow.
way we do marketing. So there's definitely some cool players coming out. But I think what I would say now is if you're building any kind of product, today you have to build AI into your product.
You
If you
really
don't
do.
do that, yeah, you're not going to be able to compete in any market these days. Um,
So true.
so yeah,
So
so that's
true.
what we're seeing. Yeah.
So you become a matchmaker then for these companies that are generating AI apps and people that are looking for an AI solution for their particular industry.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly what
Okay.
we do, and we do it in like it,
The
and not in a
matchmaker.
salesy way, but like in a beautiful, like community oriented, casual environment.
I love
So
it.
and yeah, and we've been really successful, and we've worked with IBM, AWS. Those are some of our larger clients, Azure, Oracle. So and we
Right.
match them with the different people in our community. And then from the other consumer side, we work with like Royal Caribbean and S&P and
Wow.
Viacom. So a lot of different, like really large organizations who are either trying to hire data scientists looking for cool tools, or
Right.
they're trying to connect with buyers, right? So
Right.
or
Right.
they're
Right.
working on the same problem that they're trying to solve, and then they connect that way. And we've
Sure.
had people start companies that have met at our events, which is really cool. That's what I like to see. That's like when I'm
That
like,
is the
yes, we did a
best.
good job. Yeah.
No, I'm with you 100%. And I love that the entrepreneurial community is like just like salivating around these concepts and these ideas and like, oh, I could use
I
it to
know,
build
what are
that
we gonna do?
solution.
Like yeah, exactly.
I call it entrepreneurial ADD. So yeah, it definitely happens. And so this is really, really exciting. So as you kind of build these connections and make these meetings happen where to your point, you're talking to really big companies and even government agencies trying to find solutions that solution providers are like, man, if I could just get this company, that company to try it, I think we may have something to really grow at scale. Is that kind of what you're seeing?
Exactly. Yes, we're seeing that a lot, and that we had an event at SMP in December, or not in June, and we're going to be back there in December. But we're seeing that, like literally, these
Love it.
look companies finding these awesome solutions that we bring forward, right? And they're like, "Oh, I needed that," and like I didn't
I
know
love
that
it.
this existed, right? So it's really cool.
That's awesome. And who doesn't want to go to Miami anyway, right?
Yeah. Well, we're not just in Miami; we're everywhere. We're in New York, San Francisco, Austin.
Love it.
We're all over the country. Yeah.
All the tech hubs.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Just a few seconds to let you know about a project that we've been putting together for the last several months, and we're finally launching it, called the Captain's Council. You see, as a CEO or operator of a business, it can feel like you get stuck in your own head a lot of the time. You get challenges that you don't know how to resolve. You get people causing problems in your leadership team that you don't know how to resolve. And it's so hard to overcome those things by yourself. You don't have to anymore. Join the Captain's Council. Captain's Council is a group of other CEOs and operators and owners of businesses where we come together once a month for several hours to discuss the biggest challenges you're facing. You express to the council of 8 to 10 people about what's going on. Where do you feel stuck? And these other people are in the same boat as you. They're running and operating their own businesses. They're your peers. They help you kind of dissect what's happening and help you see things that you may not have seen all by yourself. If you don't have a good, strong network of people around you, come join the Captain's Council. This is going to be something that will change the way you run your business and open your eyes to opportunities that you have never seen without the help of your peer group. Come check it out, captainscouncil.com. Smart, 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 smart. I love it. So tell us about the company. Now that we kind of know what you're doing and who you're doing it for and who you're trying to help, you've got a tricky blend of trying to target two captive audiences at once. People that want AI solutions, people that have solutions, trying to find people to use it, right? How do you do that? I mean, that's a bit of a challenge sometimes, having two ICPs. What are you doing to try and build both sides of that business?
Yeah, so I mean, I think the answer is time. It took a long time for us to get to, and I was telling you we have like 1 million in revenue now, but we did it bootstrap, right? And it just takes, I mean,
Right.
I think for a business like this, it takes time. But
It
now I
does.
feel like we're finally at an intersection where now it's much like when you actually take time, you build the community, you have trust with the
Right.
brands, you have relationships, right? This isn't like the same
Right.
as you're selling like a SaaS application or something, right? This is all
Right.
based on
Right.
relationships, high quality content that we create. We have to create a lot of content.
Right.
And that's why, like, so we're credible. We have to have a lot of advisors that are very credible.
Totally.
So that all
Totally.
takes time. So I think for something like this, it's time, and a lot of people don't have patience to do that. Like it's
Agreed.
true, right? So it's not for everybody, but I think once you get to a certain point, then you can really like scale it after that, because we have a lot of different things we can do. We could license it out to other people, right? Like we are actually going to be going into real estate. We're building a co-working space that's going to be connected to that, and we're going to have a whole
Awesome.
kind of a different model, but very similar again to the community. So
Create a community of engineers and users and marketers who can say, "Whoa, let's do this," right?
well, it's going to be more focused again on the same people we have in DSS. So people, again, the
Cool.
people that are looking for solutions, the ones that are building them, they will all be kind of in the same ecosystem in one spot. And
Right.
we'll create a lot of content around, and that's actually we'll create a lot of events and things like that
I
for
love
those
it.
people, right? So,
I love
so
it.
yeah, it's something very unique. It's not like a WeWork or anything. It's very,
Yeah.
very specific to this like technical audience.
I like what you're doing, and I like what you're describing. And for those of you listening, this is a great example of a founder who is right in that stage of, okay, we've launched, we're finding product market fit, we're generating positive revenue, we're net positive, like we've bootstrapped. You're in a beautiful position right now, Anna, where a lot of people hope to get to. And there's a lot of people listening who are just maybe even 5 steps ahead of you, saying, okay, Anna, what's your next play? Because you got to figure out what your next play is right now so that you can really pounce on the opportunity. What are you seeing as your next play? What do you what's on top of mind for Anna right now as you think, okay, final half of 2023 into 2024, where do I want to get to, and when is the potential money raise, and all these kind of things that you're thinking about? Where are you at?
Yeah, well, I think, yeah, we're really, again, and I think it's very important to tell people that we thought that COVID was going to kill us. So, because we
Yeah.
were doing a lot of in person, things,
Oh,
and that all went away. But the
I know the
opposite
feeling.
actually, yeah. So, but the opposite actually happened. We actually were able to,
Good.
people clamored, looking for content online. Sponsors needed something to do, something to sponsor, right? Because they need
Right.
leads. So we were
Right.
able to flip it around. I was able to also hire different resources to manage that and scale that. So I think
Smart.
what's up next is really work like like focusing on quality, like higher quality content, higher quality
Yeah.
events, and then we're launching our co-working space at the end of next year. And then after
Awesome.
that, we'll be open to taking probably some funds then to really scale that
Sure.
together,
Sure.
into different cities and markets and such. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So it's really exciting. And the whole
I
Gen
love it.
AI Chat GPT thing also gave us a boost as well, as you can imagine,
I'm
right?
sure it
So
did. I'm sure it did. I mean, 2023, I think, will forever be the year that people discovered the beauty of AI. And I think I remember 2006 was just a beautiful year of the iPhone and of Google Cloud. That all happened at the same
yes,
time. You know,
yes.
I
And that
remember the first
also, yeah,
time,
that, yeah.
right? I mean, the first time you could upload a doc and have somebody else edit it real time with you was like, whoa, what just happened? And I think we're, to your point, we're kind of at that point right now where it's like, holy crap, you know? Are my kids ever going to do homework again, or are they just going to learn ways to hack Chat GPT to do their homework? You know what I mean? It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and that's a whole thing that is the process that we'll discover what's going to happen, right? And how
Right.
companies and, the government and everybody's going to step, and parents, and how we're going to deal with that problem. And that's an exciting place to be.
It is an exciting place to be. So talk to us about challenges, because everyone looks at someone in your position and thinks, okay, I wish I was at that point. I wish I was doing, 1 to 5 million a year. I wish I was like profitable. What are the biggest challenges? What are some things that you didn't expect that kind of hit you? I mean, you mentioned COVID, but like, what are some things that happened that you were like, that kind of sucked. That hurt.
Yeah, well, I feel like, yeah, resources have in hiring, and I think, that's always been kind of, now it's much better actually.
Yeah.
The market, yeah, but it definitely has always been a challenge finding really good people that believe, and we're in a little bit in a technical space, so that
Right.
kind of understand and are passionate about that, and also kind of, also finding people that have the same core values, and maintaining those
Sure.
as you grow, right? That's also like something
Sure.
that people have to keep in mind, that that's very, very important to have like the same vision in the
Right.
beginning
Right.
that you had at the end. And yeah, I think for me,
100%.
it's definitely been, yeah. And like, again, sometimes like the economy affects this stuff, right? Like, I think for any
Sure.
business. So like, yeah, COVID, and then just some other up and down things with, definitely we feel that as like smaller businesses and communities.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt about it. And I think that you've been able to pivot really well. It sounds like you got super creative when you thought maybe things were going to fall apart there. And I'm proud of you for doing that. That takes a lot of courage to just kind of like, okay, we were totally an in-person event thing, and now how do we leverage what we've got and what we're doing? And
Yeah.
so, congrats on doing that. That's really, really awesome.
Thank you. And I think, again, it's because my background is mostly in digital. So I think it was not,
Yeah,
like that's more comfortable for me than the in-person thing, to be honest.
right.
So I feel like, yeah, like,
Why
and
not?
now we're doing a mix of both, right? And I love building community. I think, you do have to be in person for
You do.
actual, like, those really like true connections. You have to meet somebody in person, really,
Right,
like.
right, right.
So
I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, we've been launching a virtual peer group, and we're definitely all about the in-person events once a month. And so it has to be a big piece of what we're doing. People are still human, and you have to be able to leverage the tech and the in-person to really find some solid growth in most industries. So I love
100%.
what you're doing. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Anna, so talk to us about, if looking back to your 5 years ago self and saying, hey, make sure you do this, this, and this, what would those three things be? Two or three things that you would tell yourself at the beginning stages to get to where you're at right now?
Gosh, with this, I mean, I think it's hard with this one because of all the different, like, like we talked, the
Random
COVID.
things that
Yeah,
happen.
exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I definitely, but I mean, I feel like just be paid more patient, right? Like, because I feel like it's really easy, and
Right.
for me, like, I get pulled into a lot of different directions, and people will reach out to me about new ideas and things like that. So really, like, not being distracted,
Yeah.
and I think, and actually this is, I've been working on this for a while. Like, what, probably the longest thing I've worked on, is because it's a lot of fun and I'm always learning something, you know
Right.
what I mean? But it doesn't mean that it's the last thing I'm doing, and I
I love
tend
it.
to do a lot, different things at once. I think there's definitely more
Love it.
things in my horizon of creation in the future, near
I
future.
love
So
it. Well, we're definitely going to put, we've got in the show notes below links to all your stuff. I know you've got a couple of brands that you're pushing and really pressing out into the public face right now. And I know that you've got a lot of creativity, flowing into AI ideas and kind of seeing all the possibilities and places you could step into. But as you are building this community, how do people get involved? Like, what are you doing to try and encourage people to bring ideas and bring needs and bring these solutions together?
yeah, so I mean, you could get involved by coming to our next event. We're actually doing a whole week of events in Miami. We do a data science salon, and Miami Machine
Love it.
Learning Week every year here, and then we're going to be in San Francisco, and then we're going to be in New York. So we're going to be, and then Seattle, and then Austin. So we're going to be in those
Awesome.
places in person. But you can always find us online. You could go to datascience.salon, and you could find a
Love
lot of
it.
different resources there. If you're just curious about the space, or if you really like want to dive in, we have a lot of different things for you to be excited about there. So
Love it. Love it. I know there's a lot of people listening who are in the AI space, and they're probably wondering how they can get to your events and what they can do about it. So we'll put notes in the show notes below, and make sure that you connect on those links and figure out a way to get involved. Because listen, for all you creatives out there trying to figure out what your play is with AI, this is a great way to connect with those people. And Anna is providing a wonderful solution to these. How do I connect with people? I want to meet the real people involved. I don't want to just see their LinkedIn profiles. I want to get together and talk and chat and really understand how well they know how to solve my problem. So this is a great way to do it, Anna. I love what you're doing.
exactly. And speaking of creatives, I just turned in a talk to South by about like, can creatives, live together with Gen AI? And I actually have a really cool presentation about that I hope that they
I love
accept.
it.
But yeah, it's totally about what you were
Love it.
talking. Yeah. Because people are scared, right? But it's not scary. It's good. It's really good.
Oh yeah. I love it. Well, Anna, thank you so much. And as we look back, I love to ask founders this question of who would you look to in your immediate community of people and say, you know what, this person has really inspired me. This person really kind of either mentored me or had a real impact on what I've been able to grow so far. Is there somebody you'd like to give a shout out to today?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think one of those people is Q. He's actually been one of our advisors and a friend and just in the community for many years. And I think he's just always been very supportive and helping with all the technical, very, very technical things that I don't understand. So without
Awesome.
him, I don't think we would be here. So thank you so much, Q. You're awesome.
I think that is an amazing shout out to anyone whose name is Q. I mean, it just, James Bond really made that name is synchronous with someone who's going to bring you awesome technical solutions. So that's
Exactly.
awesome. Well, Anna, thanks again so much. We really appreciate your time. And for those of you listening, you are not far from where Anna is right now. And those of you that are past Anna, doesn't it feel good to see people in this awesome pivotal point right now in their business where it's like, yes, we're making money. Yes, we've been able to bootstrap. Yes, we're growing and we've got new ideas going into market. This is an exciting stage. And Anna, I'm so excited for you. And I cannot wait to catch up with you in a year and see what you've been able to do with what you've been building right now, because this is just a fun stage. And your growth journey is just getting going. And so this is so cool. Way to go.
Thank
And
you,
thanks for
Todd.
being here.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
I hope that you love that interview as much as I did. Anna is just a fantastic person. She's got a great business model and she's doing some amazing things with a product we all know we need and use. But if you haven't started using AI in your business, you really, really are missing out. It's not a people replacer, it's a people enhancer. And that is what is making AI such an amazing tool in all of our lives. I love it. I love using it. I've been using it for the last 3 or 4 years in my business. And if you're not using it yet, you've got to jump on the bandwagon now. In terms of growth and scaling, you'll notice that Anna talked a lot about her network, her group, her people, the people that are coming together to share these ideas and to build what they are building in the AI space. This is exactly what you need to be thinking about for your business. How do I connect with other people building and growing businesses so that you can get the ideas, you can get the confidence, you can get the experience from other people telling you, hey, look, I've tried this. It's not a great path to go down. Try that. Well, where do you meet these people? The Captain's Council. CaptainsCouncil.com is where you go. At CaptainsCouncil.com, you are able to connect with other CEOs, other founders, and operators of businesses who are in growth and scaling mode. If that's not you, don't come. But if you are looking to grow and scale to the next level, CaptainsCouncil.com is the place, because founders, it's lonely. It is a lonely place when you can't talk to your investors because you don't want them to know you don't know what you don't know, and you don't want your employees to know that you don't know exactly what you're doing. But in a community of other founders where we're all trying to figure things out together, it becomes an amazing resource for you. There are intimate groups, there's a global community, and you can connect with all of them in one place at one time. It is beautiful. So check out captainscouncil.com. We're so glad you're part of the Growth and Scaling podcast. We can't wait to catch up with you on the next episode.